Please pay off the debt. This abrupt email from my husband David came while I was at work. Panicking, I immediately contacted him, only to find him calm. I've fallen for another woman. I'm starting a new life with her. He even said he would take a luxury car that we just bought and has a loan in my name. Ignoring my haste to stop him, the phone hung up unilaterally, and I never heard from him again. Thus, leaving a hefty debt behind, David disappeared with his mistress. I had never imagined something so cruel could happen with my 10-year-old son in my arms before, and I was at a loss as to what to do next. My mind went blank. I'm Zoe, 35 years old. I was part of a family of 3 with David and our 10-year-old son, Owen. Owen has been a curious child from a young age, often reading academic papers on the computer and asking me what I thought about them. I was always amazed by his intelligence, though I struggled to respond to his complex questions. David, on the other hand, had trouble keeping a job. Due to our uncertain future, I also worked full-time. However, he finally managed to keep the same job for 3 years, bringing some financial stability to our lives. Recently, David wanted to create memories for the 3 of us, so we decided to buy a $50,000 RV. However, due to David's poor credit, I had to take out the loan in my name. On the day the RV was finally delivered, something unbelievable happened. He said, "I'll take the brand new RV. It's in your name, so you have to pay back the loan." I was at work when my husband suddenly texted me. Confused, I called him immediately. "What do you mean? I've fallen for another woman." What are you talking about? At first I thought I was just having an affair, but now I'm serious about this woman. I decided to start my life over with her. So long. I'll file the divorce papers that we wrote when we had the fight before. The phone call ended. I was shocked to learn of David's betrayal, feeling as if I'd been hit by a hammer. No matter how many times I called him afterward, but his phone is disconnected. Is this really happening? After finishing work, I returned home and checked the drawer where the divorce papers were supposed to be, only to find it empty. Left with the RV's $50,000 loan, I was overwhelmed with debt. Refusing to accept this, I kept trying to contact David, but he never responded. My intelligent son, Owen, noticed something was wrong. After dinner, he looked at me worriedly. "Mom, you haven't been eating much lately. Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm just a bit tired." "Though." I looked right up. It's not good to lie. Dad hasn't been home for 3 days. Maybe something happened to him. Startled by Owen's insightful words, I took a deep breath to compose myself. Realizing I couldn't keep this hidden forever, I told him everything. "So, Dad would do something like this, huh? Aren't you surprised?" "I kind of expected this might happen." Owen seemed calm, as if he had foreseen this, but deep down, I knew he must be saddened by our impending divorce. Apologizing to him in my heart, I threw myself into work, trying to erase the painful memories. However, my body couldn't keep up with the stress, and I gradually started to feel unwell. On that day, there was a training session at work, but I just couldn't stay on my feet and ended up crouching down. "I feel sick. I need to take a break." I could hear my concerned colleagues, but before I could respond, I collapsed. When I woke up, I was in a hospital, told that I needed thorough medical tests and had to be admitted. I'm so weak. I'm ashamed of myself. Tears streamed down my face as I looked up at my arm connected to the floor tube and the white ceiling of the hospital room. At that moment, my usually calm son, Owen, rushed to my side, looking panicked, so I quickly wiped away my tears. "Mom, are you okay? You're not going to die, right? I wouldn't leave you behind." I was so scared when the school told me you were taken to the hospital. I thought my heart would stop. Owen, who usually speaks like an adult, is still just 10 years old. For his sake, I knew I had to get better, but the situation was more serious than I thought. After the tests, it turned out I had a severe illness. The doctor said surgery should be done as soon as possible. Please decide quickly. So I underwent the surgery as advised. A month had passed since my ex-husband, David, left, and I was finally discharged from the hospital. When I got home and checked the mailbox, I found a notice for overdue payments on the RV loan. The payments should have been deducted from my account. This is strange. When I went to check my bank book and stamp in the safe, they were gone. In a panic, I checked my bank balance using my debit card and found that my savings of $30,000 had dwindled to just $5.87. It must be David's doing. How do I get it back if I can't contact him? Even if I wanted to sell the RV, I can't do anything about it because I don't have it on hand. Everything seemed to be going downhill since David left, plunging me back into a deep despair. Seeing me like this, Owen put his hand on my forehead. Your face looks pale. Are you feeling sick again? You don't seem to have a fever. I'm physically fine. It's just that your dad took not only the car but all our savings too. I'm at a loss. I can't go back to work right away. Then I'll do a paper route or something. I'll also look for some jobs online. Seeing my 10-year-old son trying so hard to encourage me, I told myself I couldn't afford to be down. I'm sorry for making you worry all the time. I'll pull myself together and try harder. As I smiled at Owen, he smiled back and suddenly had an idea. First, let's get the car back from Dad. How? The RV is in your name, right? Yes, it is. Then, Owen shared with me a brilliant plan. I never would have thought of that, but we don't know where your dad is. I can find out with my phone. A month ago, when we went hiking as a family, Owen, who's usually so careful, strangely got lost. That's when we bought a kid's phone for him and installed a GPS tracking app on it, which both David and I had access to. I've been tracking his location in real time. Dad's been moving around a lot, I see. But even if we catch him, if he just makes up some excuse, it won't help. As I pondered, chin in hand, Owen grinned and said something surprising. Don't worry, I've already taken care of it. What? What did you say? It turned out that Owen had been quite busy while I was in the hospital, taking incredible actions all on his own. I can't believe I gave birth to this child. He's so smart. Realizing the meaning of his words, I was just shocked. He even had information on David's mistress. Let's work together to punish your dad for betraying us. Let's get started right away. So, my son Owen and I teamed up to prepare for what was to come. With Owen by my side, I'm unstoppable. Bring it on. 3 days later, my phone started ringing. Please help me. Who is this? Don't play dumb. Of course I'm your husband. The police are questioning me about you. If I don't do something, I might be arbitrarily escorted to the police station. Do something. Okay, wait a bit. I quickly grabbed Owen and went to the location where David was. Surprisingly, it was near our house, in a forest park where camping was possible. David was there, looking flustered as the police questioned him. I sighed and told the police, let us talk first, and they left. Then, David, obviously embarrassed of being seen by the people around him, asked me and Owen to get into the car. The woman he was with, his mistress, Maya, glared at us with crossed legs, but that didn't bother me anymore. You saved me. Why were the cops at my place? I filed a report that the RV was missing. What? Why would you do that? It's in my name, so it's technically stolen. David insisted that no crime is committed between spouses, but I wasn't buying it. You filed for divorce, remember? Driving someone else's car without permission is a crime. Owen figured that out and told me. You're still a clever little brat, but I just borrowed the car. Then you'll return it. Great. I reached out my hand, and David reluctantly handed over the RV keys. After seeing through that, Owen spoke up quietly. Dad, why did you abandon us for this woman? David was visibly shaken, having never expected such a question from his son. As he scratched his head in confusion, Maya laughed and spoke up. It's because I'm more attractive than your mother. He's so smitten with me that he was willing to leave his family. I didn't ask you, lady. Dad, answer me. Maya was silenced by Owen's stern tone, but David didn't respond. If you won't tell the truth, I'll get the police involved. No, please. I'll talk. David then revealed that he met Maya, a new employee, 3 months ago. They were attracted to each other and became deeply involved during a welcome party for newcomers, and soon found out she was pregnant. So, he decided to start new life with her and left us. Why did you take the RV? I quit my job and was going to sell it for cash. But you've been driving it around a lot, haven't you? I was hesitant to sell it right away and went on a little trip. Wait, how do you know all this? Did you forget? After Owen got lost on our hiking trip, we bought him a kid's phone with a GPS app, which we also installed on your phone. Thanks to that, we knew exactly where you were. By the way, I also heard this story from my son, that when all three of us went hiking, Owen pretended to be lost on purpose because he wanted to have a cell phone. I was astounded by Owen's foresight. Dad was acting strangely, so I hatched a plan to find out what he was up to. You're a frightening kid. I'll never become an adult who betrays loved ones like you. In contrast to David, who could not even argue with his son's moxie, it was reassuring to see my son, who was so dependable that it was hard to believe he was 10 years old. It was my turn now. Return the $30,000 you took from my account right now. That's our joint property. That was my savings from before we got married. We hardly have any joint property because you couldn't keep a job. I was dismayed to hear that my husband and his lover had already spent the $30,000 by having an extravagant time together. At that moment, I felt relieved that I had divorced this man. Well, if it's not just the car but also money you've stolen, this could turn into a serious crime. What? Didn't you just send the police away? I said we'd talk. I never said I'd withdraw the complaint. I'll add the theft of my money to the report. I can call them back with the press of a button. While we were talking, Maya tried to sneak out of the RV quietly. But just then, she let out a loud scream. Because her parents, red-faced and furious, were standing outside the door. They scolded her severely as she backed away. I get it now, don't get so mad at me. But why are Mom and Dad here? Because I called your parents. What do you mean? Apparently, while I was in the hospital, Owen had gone to David's company and tearfully told them, my dad left with a woman I don't know, and my mom collapsed. His colleagues, moved by his frail and sad appearance, suspected Maya, who had resigned with David, and gave Owen her parents' address. Photos from the company's welcome party showed David and Maya getting cozy, confirming their suspicion. I heard that you're living with your parents, so I took the pictures they gave me, and your parents came out, so I told them everything that happened. And then I contacted Maya's parents to wait nearby. This is the worst. That's my line. You're quite pregnant. When is the baby due? In 3 months. Wait, that doesn't add up. You met 3 months ago, right? It's way too early for you to be giving birth. David, unaware of this fact, was shocked and looked at Maya. What does this mean? Don't you get it? It takes about 9 months from pregnancy to birth. That means the baby isn't yours, genius. What? Maya, you deceived me. So close to pulling it off. It's your fault for not seeing through my lies. Don't mess with me. It's your fault my life is ruined. Their ugly argument began, but we left them to it and called the police again. As darkness fell, the red lights of the police car shone brightly. I was wrong. I won't cheat again, and will work hard. Please, spare me from the police. Someone as goofy as you, Dad, is not going to change that easily. He's right. I can't trust you. Reflect on your actions with the police. If I'm charged, I won't be able to repay the money. Is that okay with you? I'll have you make amends and then pay me back slowly. I've already found a place for you to work. You'll pay alimony for Owen, the $30,000 you stole from me, and the RV. Then, I had my final words for Maya. You seemed attached, but you're an accomplice to David's theft. When I told Maya that if David couldn't repay the money he stole from me, she would have to pay it instead, she started trembling. She turned to her parents for help, but they disowned her, saying, we'll have nothing to do with a daughter who causes trouble for others. David and Maya were taken away in the police car. Thanks to my intelligent son, we were able to bring them to justice. I heard they wouldn't be held for long, but they faced a large payment to me. I had my lawyer demand $20,000 each from them in damages, plus the $30,000 David withdrew from my account. I also made David agree to pay $500 a month in child support. I arranged for him to work at a subcontractor of my company, where his wages would be garnished to pay his debts. Eventually, I sold the RV, freeing myself from the loan. My health improved rapidly, and I'm now back to working energetically. Owen helps with housework and runs errands willingly. I'll do my best to ensure he can pursue his own path unimpeded.